One quick thing to mention is that this is one of the spots where you want to check your notes and come back to if you want to lock and hide any attributes that you are not going to need for later on. Okay? For this one here, to lock and hide an attribute, it's very simple. You just go to the channel box and make sure you have the object selected, like this left foot manipulator or controller or whatever you want to call them. Come here to your channel box and come down to the section that you want, like the scales. We don't necessarily need scales. We can leave them if you want this thing to be able to scale. But if you don't want the animator to be able to scale it, you have it scale or to scale already, then it's really up to you. You have to determine whether you want visibility as well. But in this case, this stuff's not going to render out. So it's not a big problem for us. What we can do, just to give you a rundown of when you're going to want to lock and hide channels, and I would probably do this at the end since this is the first time that you guys are creating a rig, is that you want to select these, and I just click with my left mouse button and drag down, and that allows me to select multiple attributes. What I can do then when they're highlighted in light blue is I can right mouse button on these, and you just have to click it. You don't have to hold down the right mouse button. And you can go down to right here where it says lock and hide selected. Okay. The thing is if you lock and hide these and you forgot to freeze transformations on this or anything like that, it will not allow you to do it. If I go up to modify down to freeze transformations, it's going to give you an error down here at the bottom where this red bar has come up, and the code is saying that transform is not applied because left foot manipulator, the scale X is locked. And it would tell you the same thing, scale X, then scale Y, then scale Z, and then the visibility. So if you run into something like this because you are locking and hiding every time you finish something, you can actually come up and unlock this and unhide it, because right now we cannot key this. We cannot, like the scale, we cannot key. It's not even visible for us, so it's locked and hidden. We can come up to window at the very top, go down to general editors, and go over to what is called the channel control. So the best way to think of this is that the channel box uses the channel control to control the channel box, I guess, if that's going to help you remember it. So channel control, once we click on it with our left mouse button, is going to bring up this new window here, and you're going to see that we have two tabs. This channel control window of what we have selected, which is the left foot manipulator, we have two tabs, one being keyable, like things that are keyable, because we could just lock these and they would be locked, but in this case they are also hidden because we locked and hid them. So we have the ability to make something keyable again, something that is locked, or we need to display them as well. So in our case, this is a little more difficult, and it's really not difficult at all, but when you're first learning this, it could be kind of a pain. So to find this, we need to get out of the keyable, because this is going to be, you see right here where everything is displayed, this is basically everything that's in our channel box. Okay, so we need to go to the locked tab by clicking that with our left mouse button, and it's going to show us this. We have the scale X, Y, and Z, and visibility locked. I can do all of these at one time by clicking and dragging with my left mouse button. So click on my first one up here with my left mouse button and drag down, and those attributes can now be moved over from locked right here to non-locked. And the way to do that is to go down to move and click that. So we're moving it from this column to that column, from the locked to non-locked, by clicking move, and you're going to see that now they are in here. Okay, so locked is basically saying, hey, we cannot key this. So I'm going to go up to keyable here, and you're going to see that we have non-keyable and hidden right here, and we want to be able to view them in here. So we have to move them over from this section into here. The nice thing is that if we go downward, we can look for scale, and a lot of this stuff is just basically alphabetized. So we can take all of our scales And we only need the basic scales, which are the scale X, Y, and Z, not the scale pivots and all this other stuff. So the scale X, Y, and Z, we're going to move that from this column. And if I hold down Control, it'll allow me to select visibility at the bottom and skip all this other stuff. So holding down Control, a left mouse button, visibility. And now I can go from this column and move them over from the non-keyable hidden to the keyable by coming over here to this icon that has the move, and those act kind of like arrows. So the greater than sign looks as though it's pointing from one column, and I click this to move it to the other column. And it's as simple as that. You'll see that in here that our scales have come back and our visibility has come back. And that's the best way to bring these back. So if you run into that dilemma to where you forgot to do something like freeze the transformations, you can simply go up to the window, down to General Editors, and over to the Channel Control, and this will allow you to fix or remedy the situation, the problem. Okay, so for the most part, that is going to be a little basic tutorial in itself. That was one of the things I needed to remember to show you guys between connecting the attributes that we created. Now I'm going to leave these up like this. It's totally okay for you guys to do so, like I said before. And what you want to do is remember to mark your notes where you're going to want to lock and hide certain things, because I will look for those, and it's going to be really up to you guys if you want the scale functionality in your rig. So things like visibility, not going to matter. You can just lock and hide it, because this isn't going to render out. This is just a NURBS circle, and we don't have to worry about that.